sides, and I'm just like laying in the bed, and I'm watching the TV, and it's the old Perry Mason. That was another show that was on, which was perfect for this because and X-Files. I watched an X-Files, which was interesting. One of those without Mulder. When it got to me, I think when downstairs, when they first injected me, I was just so much in pain that everybody was talking to me that I knew there was this relaxedness. But being alone in a dark room in a strange area in this weird bed that would go with my back sweating and the pillow I would have to keep turning to get the coolness. After 5 minutes, this would be sweaty and I have to turn it again because the pillowcase is in a pillow that is wrapped in plastic. So in case you get sick, they could just wipe it off. You know, it's not cloth, it's not down or anything. So I'm sweating there, I'm laying there, and I'm hearing because I put the volume down real quiet, I'm hearing the television. I close my eyes. That was the first time, I'm trying to think, in my youth. That might have been the very first time I was under some kind of a drug where I was hallucinating, where I was seeing things with my eyes closed. And it was, I saw like almost like a glass, like a television screen, and things going on behind it. And then things would be in front of it, like snakes would be moving around. And then I would follow one of these things, and it would lead me down into a forest, and I'd be going through down to the ground. And the first thing that popped in my head is the first-person shooters of games, you know, playing GTA where you're the first-person shooter or things like that. It felt very much like that. I could turn a corner here, and it would turn, and what my mind was thinking, I was seeing, even though my mind was making up what the background was. And again, everything was dead, everything was quiet. I started moving my fingers, and I started feeling like the rubber around the bottom of the bed, and going, this is like a switch. This is like a button of some sort. My mind was just going. And then my feet were like this, and I started going like that with my toes, and it was the weirdest feeling. And then I started going, it felt like I was standing on a ledge of a building, and my toes were going over it. And then I started going like that with my feet. And it was like there were strings pulling my feet back and forth, lined from there to there. I'm not moving them. It was the freakiest thing. The freakiest thing. It didn't last all night. It lasted maybe 2 hours, because when I eventually decided to open my eyes, and I looked at television, I looked at the clock on the wall, I was like, oh, it's only 1 o'clock. Okay, so that was only about 2 hours. Not bad, but boy, that was fun. That was fun. It wasn't scary. It was like, I'm in a place, I'm safe. If my heart goes crazy, at least the doctors are nearby. But since I had such a restful night, was I sleeping? Was I under the influence? Oh, more than likely. I couldn't sleep anymore. So every hour I was like turning my head, and then I would fall asleep, and I'd wake up and I look at the clock and it's like 2 a.m. Kind of turn my head, kind of put the pillow, get ready to look at the clock. Oh, it's only 3:30. Jeez. And then I started, just because I couldn't sleep, I just started looking around in the room. I'm like I said, I saw that bathroom door open, and I totally forgot that there was a bathroom there. And I was like, what's beyond that door? I never saw that door before. Where is that door going to? And then I looked in front, and I saw the TV where all those cabinets are. And I was like, is this like the depth disappeared, where I could see it was cabinets, and then the TV's against the wall, and then there's more cabinets coming out. It was one blank thing. And it was like, it felt so much like a drive-in theater. Like, oh, there's the screen, and it's so far away, it's little. It's like a drive-in screen, and I'm sitting in the car in the back. And then I'd look over to the right, and I'd see a little night light on the floor. And I was like, I don't remember this little yellow light. And then I looked around to my right, and there was another one by the door that I thought was open. I was like, is that a mirror over there? And I looked back again, and it's in the exact same spot. I'm looking, is that a mirror? There's a mirror put up on the wall, and I'm seeing over there, and for a couple of minutes, I was like, I never seen a mirror in this room when I got here. What am I looking at? And eventually I dozed off again. And probably around 5-ish, they came in to take my vitals again. And that was my Saturday night. That was my, that was my Saturday night, first night in the hospital. Uncomfortable because I couldn't move anywhere. Very, very happy because of the experience I had falling to sleep thanks to the pain meds. Oh, when I was on these pain meds, I didn't feel my foot at all. I didn't feel my ankle. I didn't my ankle, my kneecap. I didn't feel any pain. No throbbing whatsoever. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. So then, yeah, morning comes. Morning is break, and they take all your stuff. And I got up, washed up, brushed my teeth, got back to the bed. Never changed the linen, so the bed kind of stunk of BO because I was sweating most of the night. And usually, you know, in other hospitals I've been to, when you get up to go wash up, the nurses come in like busybody, and they take the sheets, they change the pillowcases, and get it all set for you. No, it was all still wrinkly, so I got in there anyway. And you're in that goofy one piece where your butt's all hanging out, you know. And then if they got you on a heart monitor, they got that clip on there, and it's pulling everything down. And then your shoulders are falling off if you're not tied up in the back. And if you are tied in the back and you sit up on the bed and you're trying to scoot up to get in a good position, it's going like this, and you can't do it, so you gotta untie it, and then you realize you're scooting your butt up against and I hope I don't leave a stain back there, a skid mark. So yeah, the next day they did more tests, and the doctors come in and they look at it again, and I've been watching it most of the morning. And my kneecap is, you know, like a kneecap, and there's this lump that comes out about that high, just this purple lump, and then there's another one over here, like a purple lump. And again, the second day, Sunday, just caressing it. The pain was excruciating. It hurt so much. And the doctors are like, well, you're infected. Your knee is pretty damn infected. We're getting an infectious doctor in here. He's not a doctor who's infectious, but he's one of the deals. We're getting an orthopedic doctor in here. We're getting this kind of doctor in there. We're getting a blood doctor in here because we're dealing with low blood sugar and Coumadin and blood clots and all. Okay, whatever. Just help me with this. It hurts. And because it was what they were blood sacks. Sorry to gross anybody out, but what had happened, I'll jump ahead one day just to explain. When I banged my knee, because I was on blood thinners and because I didn't break any skin, it started internally bleeding, and eventually the blood just kept accumulating, forming these blisters. Everybody's had a blister, and you pop it and that white stuff comes out and you go, you know, and it hurts. But imagine having a sack, a big fat sack, that eventually you could just poke at, and it looks like a little balloon, and it's just full of blood. It's just full of blood. That's pretty much, I had like 2 or 3 of those on my knee, and I still have one now. What happened the rest of the day? So the doctors came in, they looked at me, and they're like, okay, we're going to keep an eye on it. It's infectious. We might have to lance it to let you'll feel better once we lance it because all that pressure will be out, and you'll be able to bend your leg again. And it's like, okay, this is Sunday. No problem. That'll work for me. So the rest of the day was waiting around for lunch, waiting around for dinner, waiting around for MASH, and going to sleep. Except one of the nurses, which was a new nurse, came in right around after breakfast. It was like right around 9 a.m. because I ordered breakfast at like 6, 7. So it was around 9 a.m. She goes, how's your pain level? I'm like, oh, it's like an 8. We'll get you something for it. Morphine, my old friend, in the morning. So I knew it was coming. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have fun again. We're going outer space. So I'm waiting for her, and I'm waiting, and she comes in finally, and I'm starting to get addicted to the experience, not so much to the actual medicine, because in my mind it was like, well, it doesn't last long. It's only a couple hours. And it's great when it's happening if you don't have nothing to do. But all in all, it really helped the pain. It relaxed me, helps me sleep. So of course she injected it, and I started seeing weirder things again. Weird things. Although this was morning. This was early morning, so I'm hearing Hazel in my head. Oh, Mr. Grant, Mr. Brent. And I'm hearing Beaver and Wally, and as I'm laying there trying to move my feet again, trying to get that weird feeling of, oh, I feel it again. It's the same weird feeling. And although I couldn't follow anything this time it was more abstract. This time it was more like buildings, and I was going through buildings and things. And it was harder to concentrate, probably because it wasn't a pitch black room. It was light coming in through the windows, and it was morning. And she must have gave it to me around 9, and I slept till 11:30. I was out till 11:30, and not all weird hallucination till then. It was like it subsided, and then I just kind of went, oh, I'm going to sleep. I'm tired, and I slept a good long time. Lunch came, ordered lunch. Lunch left. 3 o'clock. How's your pain level feel? Well, let me tell you, when you injected me this morning, that pain went away like that. And that's really, really good. Well, I got that, or we got Tylenol. Do you want to take... I'd rather have the other stuff. No problem, no problem. Afternoon delight. Okay. So, from Sunday through this morning, 3 times a day. 3 times a day I indulged in a little morphine. Yeah, morphine. And it worked wonders. And not all the time was I seeing stuff. A lot of time it still had the same effect, going up those back of your neck, into your head, into your face, just relaxing you. And because the last couple, the nights, the evenings were so uncomfortable. One night I had nurses that were just blah, 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 and where they sit around there. And even with the door closed, all I could hear was noise. It was hard enough to sleep. And even though I took the stuff, once I came out of it, when it was like 1, 2 in the morning, they were just yelling. And so I think what it was that since I didn't get much sleep during the night at all, with the sweaty bed, and you can't turn, and you go to the bathroom and you're trying to hold your thing on because the heart monitor is pulling it down, and you're trying to pee, and you don't want to get the thing in the pee, and you're holding it up, and you hold it like your teeth so you got some room there so it's not falling in the toilet. And then going in the bed, which is cold now because you were sweating, and then you lay there, and then so I think what it was that every morning I was looking forward to taking this stuff or accepting this stuff, and just knocking me out, having a good night's sleep. Even one of the nurses says, "Boy, I was in here twice and you didn't move a flinch. You were out." And it looked like you really needed that rest. And I was like, yeah, I'm glad, I can have that rest. And I've talked, it was a joke between a few of the nurses about how I just can't sleep at night because it's weird. Like I told the lady, it felt like I was sleeping in some weird office. I was limited to that room. I couldn't leave. They have a sensor on the bed that if you get up during the night to go to the bathroom, beep, 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 there's all these alarms that go off, and then they come in because they're supposed to help you, make sure you don't fall in that. And it's like, yeah, I can do it myself, you know. There was one time I was in the bathroom doing the number 2, and I accidentally hit the pull thing, and I'm right in the middle, and the lady comes, I'm coming, and she opens a door, and it's like, oh, geez. So that was a first. Yeah, so it was fun. And then this morning, I can't think of, yeah, I told you what the doctor said it was. It was the blood clotting. And they eventually, well, I'd have to get into a real depressing part, which I'm just going to skim over because this is getting very long. Actually not, it's only about an hour. Wednesday night they came in, and one of the I saw 4 doctors throughout the day. They all had different type of job things. And one of them came in and he drew a line with his pen. I thought he was just moving his pen until he left, and I looked and oh, there's a line.